Hey, what's up guys? It's Atheon and welcome back to Destiny. Now there's a pretty major patch hitting this week supposedly from Bungie that affects a few things inside the Vault of Glass, which is the raid for Destiny currently. The biggest changes coming are to the Atheon encounter, which is the final boss inside the Vault of Glass. And a couple of these changes I'm actually on board with, and I wanted to go over them with you. The biggest one is that baby bumpers are going to be added to the ledges on the Atheon fight, meaning you will be not able to push Atheon off the ledge any longer inside that fight. And a lot of people are going to say, oh man, how am I supposed to get my gear now? How am I supposed to get my Mythoclast? Well, maybe Bungie doesn't want you to do the encounter that way. And that doesn't mean I think any less of anybody who's done it that way thus far. That just means that maybe Bungie doesn't want you doing it that way, and it's their game, so honestly, at the end of the day, they get to make that decision. So I fully support Bungie in their decision to make this encounter a little bit rougher, and that endgame reward a little bit harder to get. The reason being is that they're actually going to buff the PvE damage of the Vex Mythoclast. They recently did a nerf of it, dropping its base damage by about 34%, but what they're going to do is they're going to take its attack stat and raise it above 300. As you can see, it is currently 300, and 300 is the current cap for any weapon in the game. Yes, they're going to make the Vex Mythoclast the strongest weapon in the game for PvE, and it very well should be, because it is the top-end, rarest reward for beating the hardest experience in the game on hard! Alright, so I fully support them putting a little bit of a buff into the Vex Mythoclast, because after the nerf, it kind of lost a lot of its punch inside of player versus environment activities. I do feel like it's just about right inside of PvP though, because it does kill enemies pretty proficiently, but you're not really so overpowered that you're broken like you were before with the Vex Mythoclast. The next change that I want to talk about is what they're doing to Atheon. And they're making it so that instead of sending the furthest 3 Guardians away from Atheon through the time stream, he's actually going to be choosing 3 random players and sending them through the time stream. This will make the fight quite unpredictable in the phase when he's sending people through the time stream. That means that everybody inside the fight will need to be able to play any role that they're given. I kind of like this change because if you go into Atheon and you understand the strategy, and you have a built-out group to do the strategy, you're pretty much guaranteed to win because it's not that difficult of an encounter because there's not a lot of surprises. Now, a lot of people will say, man, I like being able to strategize with my group. You'll still be able to strategize. You'll be able to say, okay, if Billy's ever back inside the time stream, then Billy is going to be the one that gets the shield. But if Billy's not there and Robbie's there, then you know, Robbie will get the shield, but, you know, if Robbie and Kyle are there, then Kyle's a little bit better with the shield than Robbie is. You get what I'm saying. You'll still be able to build strategies to beat Atheon and, you know, sort of dictate what happens inside the time stream, but it will be a little bit more surprising as you're going in, and I think that this is a good thing because it makes the fight a little bit more thrilling, a little bit more surprising, a little bit more challenging, and a little bit more entertaining, to be honest with you, because currently, going through hard mode with my group, if I have my full group, it's not a challenge at all. And I know a lot of hardcore raiders feel the same way. And that's going to bring me to my final point of the video that's actually not in the patch notes. But Bungie, you really need to give the average player, not the average player, but the non-raider. The non-raider needs to have some avenue to get to level 30. Do I think the non-raider needs to have an avenue to get the Vex Mythoclast? No, because the Vex Mythoclast will only benefit you in the raid against level 30 enemies and in other PvE activities. Other non-raid weapons, non-Vex Mythoclast weapons, are still going to hold their own very well outside the Vault of Glass. The Vex Mythoclast, after its buff, will be very good outside the Vault of Glass and PvE, but it will remain the same inside of PvP. So I feel like there needs to be some sort of carrot on a stick for non-raiders, some sort of progression they can make past the cap of 29. I feel like everybody should be able to hit 30. Do I feel like everybody should have access to raid gear? Probably not. But I do think that everybody deserves some sort of endgame progression, some carrot on a stick that they can chase. Let me know how you guys feel Also, let me know how you feel about these changes being made to Atheon and the Vault of Glass. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys back inside of Destiny.